All right, so in today's video, we're going to talk about your Mars sign, your natal Mars, and how it gives indication as to who you fight with and what type of people you fight with. So let's get into it. So now the first one we're going to discuss is Mars in Aries. So when people have their Mars in Aries, they tend to fight with men. Mars is the ruler of Aries. Mars feels very comfortable in Aries. Mars loves being in Aries. But when people have this placement, most of their fights and battles and disagreements and arguments are with men. Especially the women, you see this a lot. Like a lot of women who have this placement have been abused by a man before and have gotten into physical assaults with men before. And they tend to see men as their enemy because Aries is a masculine sign and is associated with raw masculinity. And yeah, like whenever you look at athletes too, like male athletes who have this placement, they're always getting into these macho alpha male fights with other men, right? So that's who you tend to fight with when you have your Mars in Aries. You tend to fight with other men and you see men as your enemy. Mars in Taurus. You fight with people over money, resources, and pleasure. That's what Taurus rules. Taurus rules money, resources, and matters involving pleasure. Just from, a personal perspective and dating someone who had this, the thing is with Mars and Taurus people, they tend to fight with people over, like, for example, being cheated on. Like, they tend to find themselves in these experiences where the people that they date and have relations with cheat on them, and they end up fighting because it's like, or they're the cheater, and they're fighting with the person that they've cheated on. And it also goes into money. Mars and Taurus people tend to have these disagreements and fights over money, right? So that's what you tend to notice with Mars and Taurus people. Mars and Gemini, they fight with other intellectuals and siblings. You fight with your words, right? There's this rapper named Meek Mill. He has his Mars in Gemini. And it's crazy because he's known for being a very aggressive, loud person. Like Mars and Gemini people are very aggressive and assertive with their words. And that's what they use to fight. They're going to use their words to pick you apart. One of my professors and a friend of mine, she has her Mars in Gemini, and she just loves to pick people apart with her words because Mars, aggression, how we fight, Gemini, the words and the intellect and speech, right? So that's what you tend to notice when people have their Mars in Gemini. They fight with other intellectuals, their siblings, they fight with their words. Mars in Cancer, you fight with women, family, and mother. The best example of this is Chris Brown. Chris Brown is known for fighting his women. He's had multiple instances of fighting women, and he's also actually attacked his mother one day. He got into a fight with his mom about something, and this is the reason why he's seen as such a monster. Like, oh, woman beater, you hate women. It's because Mars, the planet of aggression, is in Cancer, which is associated with women, family, and the mother. And this is why Mars doesn't like being in Cancer, because why would you want to fight with women? Why would you want to fight with your family? Why would you want to fight with your mother, right? So yes, and also when people have their Mars in Cancer, they tend to see women, family, and mother as their enemy as in some kind of way. Mars in Leo, you fight with lovers over children and as far as the people you compete with. When you have your Mars in Leo, that's who you tend to fight with. You tend to fight with lovers, you tend to fight over matters involving children and also creativity. You may have to fight over matters involving creativity and competition. That tends to be the theme with Mars and Leo people. They're very aggressive competitors and they tend to fight with the people that they compete with. And a lot of times when you see people have their Mars in Leo, they tend to have that toxic baby daddy, baby mama situation because Leo rules children, right? So that's what you tend to see with Mars and Leo. Mars in Virgo, service workers. Oh my God. So I have my Mars in Virgo, right? And it drives me crazy. It's gotten to a point where I don't even like getting services done anymore. Like I don't like doing things like getting eyebrows done, nails done, feet done, services like even from mechanics. I hate getting services done because me having so much Virgo in me, it drives me crazy when people don't provide services properly. I've always been in the service industry. I'm a healthcare worker. I used to be a waitress and I'm a healthcare worker, and providing good service is very, very important to me. And it just absolutely drives me crazy and makes me angry when people don't do their job correctly. So this is the Mars and Virgo thing. Virgo rules service and providing service to people. So that's who you tend to fight with is service workers and people who provide services. And I can attest to that as an absolute fact. Mars in Libra. You tend to fight with women and relationship partners and business partners. That's what Libra rules. Libra rules women, femininity, relationship partners, and business partners. And that's who you tend to fight with. A lot of time, I know this personally. I know a lot of people who have their Mars in Libra, and they're always getting into these toxic fights with their relationship partners and business partners. And they have to, this is something that they have to work on as they get older, how to have healthy relationships that don't involve fights and disagreements. Mars in Scorpio, you tend to fight with sexual partners and people you share resources with. That's who Mars in Scorpio. So it's very similar to Taurus as far as fighting over money, but with Scorpio, it's more like resources. Like you tend to more fight over like, okay, over a house, over an inheritance, stuff like that. And yeah, you tend to fight with sexual partners as well because Taurus and Scorpio both rule sex and sexuality and intimacy, right? So that's who Mars and Scorpio people tend to fight with. Sexual partners and people they share resources with. Mars in Sagittarius, they tend to fight with other highly educated and opinionated and foreign people. This is who Mars and Sagittarius people tend to fight with and get in disagreements with. Other highly educated, Sagittarian-like, opinionated, and foreign people. My brother has this placement, and he's known for being very opinionated, and he'll argue with you about his opinions all day long. And he's a foreigner himself, and he's had disagreements with other foreigners and, going through the whole process of getting to this country. So yeah, that's who Mars and Sagittarius people tend to get into fights and disagreements with. And it's likely too, when people have their Mars and Sagittarius, they tend to get into it with professors and stuff like that if they go to college. Mars in Capricorn, you fight with authority figures and older people because that's what Capricorn rules. Mars and Capricorn people, when they're not expressing their Mars in a healthy way, they tend to butt heads with our authority figures. Like they're the ones that like will fight with the police officer, fight with the school principal, fight with other politicians, just people in a position of authority. And they tend to have disagreements with older people, right? So that tends to be a pattern with Mars and Capricorn people. And also as far as like authority figures, they tend to get into it with like supervisors and people that are above them at work. They tend to have fights and disagreements with these people. Mars in Aquarius, you fight with friends and the people within your groups and network. That's what Aquarius rules. It rules our friends. It rules the people within our groups and network, like, for example, social media. The best example of this is the rapper Tupac. Tupac had his Mars in Aquarius, and he was known for fighting with friends, fighting with people that were in the same business and in the same music business. That's all he did. And that's ultimately what actually led to his death, is fighting with people within his group, fighting with people within his network, and fighting with friends. He had a major falling outs with friends. And that's just the story of Mars and Aquarius people. That's who they tend to fight with. And they also tend to fight with whoever they feel like is restricting their freedom and their rebellious nature. And whoever they see as, oh, this person is restricting me and I'm going to rebel against this person. That's who Mars and Aquarius people tend to fight with, friends and people in the network. Mars and Pisces, who knows? With Pisces, the thing is with Pisces is associated with confusion and uncertainty. So we don't know. Like when I was making this video, I had to really think about it. I was like, dang, who do Mars and Pisces people fight with? And I realized I couldn't really put anything on it because Pisces, that's what Pisces is associated with. You're not really sure. It's like, because Virgo is the opposite. Virgo is clarity. You know exactly what's going on. You know the facts. You know the details. But Pisces is like, you could never figure it out. Like I tried to think about all the Mars and Pisces people that I know, and I'm like, it's no consistency. You're not really sure. You can't really tell who they fight with and who they get into disagreements with. So, no offense, Mars and Pisces people, but I mean, we don't really know who you fight with. I can make the association as far as like Pisces, it being associated with spirituality. So maybe you fight with like spiritual people. Maybe you fight with people that take advantage of your compassionate, impressionable nature. But yeah, with Mars and Pisces, you never really know. It's hard to tell with people with Pisces energy. And that's everything you need to know. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know what you think. Take care.